Right, this is lesson 8, so we're going to look at an construction of exterior view. So we're looking at a house. So this one's going to have quite a bit of detail on. So when we're drawing the house, the first thing we need is a cuboid or a crate, which is going to be the main bit of the house. So roughly halfway along the page and potentially around about 3 or 4 centimeters off the page, I'm going to pick my lowest point. So there's no guidance on this particular activity now, so there's no step by step. So we're going to start off with a 30-degree line to the left, and then one vertical and a 30-degree line to the right. The next thing I need to do, this is going to be the side of the house, so I need to draw on here. So I'm going to make this one about 6 centimeters back to allow me to get a bit of detail in there with a vertical line. And then this is going to be the front of the house, so I'm going to go 9 centimeters. And I'm going to go vertical over here. Now you could do a townhouse which has got 3 stories. Just be careful, by the time you put your 30-degree lines on, you don't know if it's going to fit on the page. Or you could do a bungalow, so it could be much lower. So it's entirely up to you. So I'm going to try for 2 stories. So I'm going to go for 7 centimeters high. So I'm looking at here, would that fit on? So it should just about fit on if I project those lines across. So I'm going to go for 7 centimeters here. And with that, I'm going to go with the 30-degree line to the left, and one to the right, and then bring it back on itself here, and then I'm going to bring this section in here. So I'm just off the page, but it doesn't really matter. The next thing I want to do is I want to construct some windows on here. So I'd like them to be aligned, so I'm going to go with a vertical line. So this is one window, and I'm going to draw a 30-degree line across, but I'm going to project it all the way across here so that both windows are in line. I've got a 30-degree line here, but again I'm going to continue that along so I can have another window which lines up. Go with a vertical and a vertical and a vertical. So I've now got 2 windows which line up with each other. If I put the front door in, I've got a vertical and a vertical and a 30-degree line for the front door. We could put a window in the lower levels as well with a vertical and a 30-degree line, another vertical and a 30-degree line. So you could continue to add windows into your drawing. The next thing we want to do is apply the roof. So this will be the first time that we've drawn a diagonal line which is not at 30 degrees. So what we've got here is, if this is a side view of our house, just make sure we can see that. So if this is our side view of our house, like so, we're going to pick the halfway point on each of them, and then we're going to draw up the height of the roof. So what we then need to do is we're going to, from the top of the roof, we're going to project that down with 2 diagonals on either side. So this one's got a shallow roof, this one's got a much more pointy roof on the apex. Now what you get from each of those could be 2 different views, so I just want to show you both just in case, because it may be different than mine, but it's not that it's wrong. So if we've got both of our houses drawn in isometric, like this on the side, so if we go with pick the halfway point, if I go with a higher pitch roof with this one and a lower pitch roof with this one, the bottom of it, we're going to project that across at 30 degrees till it touches the other side. The bottom of that one, project that till it touches the other side. Send that one up, same with that one. Project that across at 30 degrees, send that one across at 30 degrees. Now with this one, the top of it, you're going to send down to either of the corners of the front and the back. Now with the shallow roof, you can see the back of the roof. With this one, if we send these down, we can't see the back of the roof. So both are right, it's just that one you'll see the back of it and the other you won't. So it just depends how high you make your roof. So if I find the halfway point on here, so I've got with 3 centimeters, so I'm going to send that over to the other side. So I'm projecting it across so it's in the same position on the other side of the drawing. If we then send them up, so let's say I only do a shallow roof, I'm going to go with 2 centimeters up, and then the same with that one, send that one up. If I project that across at 30 degrees so it touches there, that means the top of each of them, so we'll call them A and B, I'm going to bring them down to the front corners. The same with this one, the front corners here, and to the back corners as well on these 2, like that. Okay. The next thing we want to do is we can apply some detail to our window frames. So rather than drawing on the grid now, we should be able to draw in between the grid lines. So if I increase the light here, you can see where the grid is, but if I went with the grid line, so knock that off, it means that my window frames are going to be pretty chunky and you're not going to get much glass in them. But if I keep my lines parallel with the lines that have already been drawn, so I'm drawing in between the grid lines, I can get a much more refined drawing, a bit more detail in there. So I'm keeping them parallel with the vertical degree lines and the 30 degree lines, but I'm not actually drawing on the grid. So you can see the difference between the two. So the same with the door. So some of you may want to put a porch on your door, so you could bring that out, a bit like the pan that we did a couple of lessons ago. So we're going to bring that out. So just draw another crate, and again you can put a mini roof if you want on the side. The next thing we're going to do is I'm just going to apply a garage to the side. So there's my mini roof for the porch. So each of them are in 30 degrees. So for the garage, I'm going to draw this across here, 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and then 30 degrees. So that's where my extension is going to go. So I'm going to send that up and up again and up again. So decide upon the height. So let's say it went there, 30 degrees across there. As soon as it hits that vertical line, it changes direction. The same with that one, 30 degrees. As soon as it hits that vertical, it changes direction. I could put another style of roof. It's like half of what I drew before. So I'm going to send that across at 30 degrees. Send that down like that. So these are not 30 degrees, these slopes. We want the garage door on the side. So each time we're trying to stick to the rules of isometric. We could put a shutter, drawing those in at 30 degrees. And then we can have the garage drive. Go there. We can have a footpath up to the door. We could even have some students who start to put other detail in, so we can have a basketball net. So I've got a 30 degree line in verticals. I can draw where the basketball net's going to come out. If I then bring it out, the 30 degree line, 30 degree line, 30 degree line, draw my isometric circle in there, and then I could just sketch in the net on the side. If we want to put token bricks in, again I could follow the grid with verticals and 30 degrees to suggest that it's made from bricks or stone and stagger them, something like that. If you want to put a garden wall or fence, this is the kind of foundations where it would go. If I send that upwards, so I'm going to project that across at 30 degrees, 30 degrees, where the path finishes, send that up. It'll meet there, so that's going to be the end of the wall. Send this one up, vertical, vertical, project that across, which gives me the start of the next bit of the wall, and then send that across. So I'm only ever using vertical and 30 degree lines for the construction of it. If you want to put tiles on the roof, again you can use your grid for the separation of the tiles, but remember to try and stagger them. But try and do them at the angle that you've drawn your roof at. So if I draw one tile in and then stagger the next one underneath, like that. Try not to do them vertical because it wouldn't really make sense. So try and put some detail in, but try and add the detail using isometric if you can on the side. Okay, or do one more thing. You might want sometimes you see these in gardens, a trampoline. I'll sketch this one. So if we draw a crate, like that. So I've got a crate with a square in the middle of it. So if I do my isometric circle in the top one, isometric circle in the bottom one, isometric circle on the very bottom one, this bit could be the bit where the trampoline is. There we go, something like that. And then the legs can be positioned, but you're going to use that circle to guide the length of the legs. So the legs line up with the curve on the side. So you've then got your trampet in the corner. Okay, so there's the construction of the house.